What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an original tag called Spooky Scary Skeletons book tag for, of course, Halloween season. The whole month of October, we celebrate Halloween. And I wanted to do a Halloween tag because I haven't done one before. And I was just inspired by other people's Halloween tags. First question, which is, Witchy Mayhem. Name a book you loved or hated about witches, and I'm going to choose Slewfoot by Brahm. Loved it, appreciate it, enjoyed every minute of it. I definitely recommend it. It follows Abatha, and she is in a Puritan town called Sutton, and you know, she's a little too independent, and she does actually get herself mixed up with Slewfoot or Satan, Lucifer, the devil. So, I mean, it's like accurate that they're upset, but I side with Abatha and Slewfoot because, yeah, well, you would have to read to see, but I'm saying it is worth it. Number 2, The Pumpkin King, a fiction book about a spooky main character. And I went with The Nightmare Before Christmas poem read by Christopher Lee. I know it is on one of the special edition DVDs of The Nightmare Before Christmas, but it might also be on YouTube at this point, so I really suggest looking it up. You know Christopher Lee's voice is just perfection for The Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 3, Orange Fever, a book with the word orange in the title or orange on the cover. And I'm going with City of Reckoning by Brianna Da Silva. This is very chunky. This is YA epic fantasy. Yeah, this is a weapon, but it's orange. So that's why I went with it. Number 4, Ghouls and Ghosts, a book you love about ghosts or ghouls. And I went with The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James because you would think that maybe we're just playing the game of, oh, maybe, you know, there might or might not be ghosts, and then maybe it turns out that there's no ghosts and it's just, you know, a murder mystery. No, there are ghosts. The ghosts are real and they help the murder case move forward and ultimately be solved. But I think that is a great twist because usually you hear that ghosts might or might not be there, and it usually turns out that there's no such thing as ghosts and something explains the ghost apparitions, whatever. But no, this is real ghosties helping the main character. And I really appreciate it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was a library read, and I really, really love Simone St. James. I'm going to read her other books as well. Number 5, Horrible Horrors, your least favorite horror, thriller, or mystery book. And recently that would be Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn. It is a great concept. It really is. It's about a group of retired female assassins. They're going on a cruise together. It's a fun time. They were assassins around like the 60s and 70s, and then they retired, you know, old age and all that. But the assassin agency wants to kill them off. And you would think, oh, great concept. That's why I picked it up. But alas, I did not like the execution, and I did not like the flashbacks that were weirdly in first person present tense, but then the current time was like first person past, but then there were problems with the editing. Like in the flashbacks, there are words that are past tense, like said versus says, hurry versus hurried. Like it's maybe it was once written in third person, like both time periods, but then they switched it to one of them first person present and the other first person past, and that was not good. I can overlook a few words because, you know, shit happens, but it was a lot. And I don't know what happened there. Like, this is a traditionally published book. You can't fix that problem even like for a first edition. I don't know, it's a little odd. And then the group of women, it's like 4 or 5. I can't recall if it's 4 or 5 characters because 1 or 2 of them are like exactly the same. So then if there is a 5th character that I'm forgetting, it's just way too similar to character number 4 that not necessary, honestly. If I can't remember how many characters there are because one was like completely the same as the other one, not great, unfortunately. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars because there was a lot of potential. I was really excited, but alas. Number 6, Gothic Wonders, a favorite Gothic themed book you've read in the past 5 years. I was gonna go with Dracula, but I think a lot of people would go with that. So I'm gonna mix it up and say Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I have the book somewhere on my shelf, but in the process of moving, the back cover is all bent and crinkly, and I am still trying to get it to flatten a little bit, so I didn't want to take it off the shelf because it's jam-packed. Hopefully it kind of doesn't look ugly in the next 6 months. I'm going to try and see if I can fix it by just keeping it really, really flat, or else, yeah. But it's a kind of not so great copy because it got really wrecked, but you can see what it looks like because I just showed the cover on the side. I really enjoyed it. Some people would say that it turns into sci-fi because of this one point with psychedelic mushrooms. But I don't see how that's sci-fi because psychedelic mushrooms are on Earth. So I don't know. I guess maybe because there's also like magical powers or something. Like they're thinking that there's magical powers in the psychedelic mushrooms, but you don't need magical powers because if you take enough of the psychedelic mushrooms, you can see Jesus and all. Just actually, you don't need to just see Jesus. You see every single god and goddess imaginable in like this haze of brilliant colors and whatever you see. If it's a good trip. If it's a bad trip, good luck to you. But I still think it's gothic, slight fantasy. It has a very gothic feel. It's also set in Mexico, and maybe that makes it not, for some people, not feel as gothic because it's not in Victoria, England, but I think you can really spread out that gothic vibe if you want to. Number 7, Magic and Potions, a fiction or non-fiction book that deals with magic and potions, and I chose The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. The title says it all, doesn't it? And I have had this on my TBR for quite some time. I'm really interested to read it. The cover is very pretty. Hi, yes, I'm interested. Number 8, Black Cats, a book about cats, or a book that has cats in it as a main character or a side character. And I chose Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the American Archie comics, because it has Salem. For a very, very long time, I really wanted to have a cat, a black male cat, named Salem, because I watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch when I was a kid. Obsessed. Loved it. Just perfection. And my favorite character besides Sabrina was Salem. Don't we all love and adore Salem, right? But my husband's allergic to cats, so my dreams have been crushed. However, I live vicariously still through the TV show and the movie. The movie's good too. And the comics. I know a few people that have named their black male cat Salem, so also I will live vicariously through them as well. Number 9, Spooky Scary Skeletons, a book that sent shivers down your spine. And I'm gonna go with Along the Path of Torment by Chandler Morrison, especially the scenes involving the flashbacks of this main character and the abuse and the torture that he went through. That was very disturbing, but it was actually necessary for the story to move forward. I don't think that Chandler Morrison adds in disgusting, vile things or scenes just because. I know there's a lot of splatterpunk that does it just to scare people or freak people out or anger people, but that's not Chandler. He really takes splatterpunk as a genre very seriously, and I appreciate him, and that's why he's one of my favorite horror / splatterpunk authors. I do sometimes recommend him. 95% of the time I do not, because it's messed up, but I will for a certain number of people that I know read horror and they won't basically be traumatized. And I'm saying that because, yeah, we don't want to traumatize anyone. Splatterpunk is very extreme, and all of his book will send shivers down your spine, but this one in particular, for me personally, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was heavy, it was dark, but that is good writing. Now, number 10 is just tagging a bunch of people. I tagged Jonathan, Bookish Kaz, Emma Bennett, Adam Rodriguez, of course, Bad is Rad 2, another of course, Book Blather, Margaret Pinard, Rod Gilly, Jeremy, Casey, Nathan, if you still have a booktube channel, I think you might be on a hiatus, but do it anyway. And then, of course, lastly, Dark Violet Dreams. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a very spooky, scary skeleton Halloween season, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.